Hi everyone, Velvet here, and I have some stories for you today. But before we get started, can you please do me a huge favor and like, comment, and subscribe? It'll help the channel out and it'll get you more videos like this. Let's get to it. And our first one comes from Throwaway Flat Issues. Am I the beehole refusing to help rekindle my girlfriend's friendship with our neighbor after she refused to help her in an emergency? My 25-year-old female girlfriend, 26-year-old female Lada, has always been more quiet and reserved side, but also incredibly kind and conscientious of other people. She also doesn't let others walk all over her, and knows how to set and stick to boundaries, which is one of the reasons I was attracted to her. But a few weeks ago, I think she was too ruthless. A few weeks ago, our upstairs neighbor, who Lada and I are close with, showed up at our door sobbing and begging Lada to babysit her 5-year-old for an hour because her 1-month-old is having trouble breathing and stopped breathing at one point. Ooh, okay. And needed to go to the hospital ASAP. The neighbor explained her mother was on the way as they speak, but she has no one else to take care of her other son. She also offered to pay Lada. I was at work at the time. Lada said no. She said she was busy and couldn't do it. The neighbor ended up taking both kids to the hospital. I found out about this incident when I got home from work, and Lada told me I was genuinely surprised to hear that she said no, which seemed to annoy Lada a lot. It's been 3 weeks since that event, and our neighbor has been quite cold to Lada, and this really bothers her. She was just saying she was setting boundaries, and that our neighbor was entitled and snobby for being upset that Lada said no. I explained that I felt differently, and I am more on our neighbor's side, as 1, she has never asked us for any favors in the 3 years we've known her, and 2, this was a medical emergency, not her wanting to go clubbing with her friends. I told Lara that she didn't teach our neighbor a lesson, she only added stress that she didn't need. This really upset Lada, because she thought I would be on her side. She then asked me to talk to our neighbor and to try to rekindle their friendship. I said I couldn't do that for her. She needs to apologize herself and put in the work. Lada stormed off and now keeps saying I'm being a huge beehole for not siding with her and helping her with our neighbor who is her friend. Am I the beehole? Edit. Lada was busy cooking dinner and catching up on shows of hers. She wasn't cooking or doing anything that would be dangerous for kids to be around. OP? You're not the beehole. I'm 100% with you on this side. Because if I was in that situation, coming from a guy who doesn't, have kids and doesn't really want to watch other people's kids, I would watch that woman's kids because it's a medical emergency, and your child not breathing is serious. Yeah, I would completely understand in that situation. So I can see why you were saying, because Lada was very cold there. Now I'd understand if she was like, hey, watch my kids, I'm going to the club, or I'm going to the store, and she's been dropping her kids off on you guys every day and all that. I completely would understand why she would set that boundary there if it was for clubbing, even if it was, but this is a medical emergency. This woman has been nice to you guys. She's never taken advantage of you guys or asked for favors. So that would make me think, oh yeah, this is very real and this is a very scary situation. Let me help this lady out. It's only for an hour. Her mom is already on the way to pick up the kid. I could watch the kid for an hour. And even though she's mad at you for not taking her side, she still knows she did wrong because she wants you to go over there and help her rekindle the friendship. I agree with the OP. She dug that hole. She needs to find her way out of that hole. She needs to go do it herself like an adult, not you. So OP, 100% not the beehole. And our next one is from Resident Soup, 9839. Am I the beehole for getting my disappointed son a Slurpee? My 8-year-old son had a class trip yesterday. He was very excited in the days leading up to the trip, mainly because of a specific attraction he was hoping to see. Unfortunately, the attraction is closed for renovations for the next couple of months, so he didn't get to see it. There were a lot of other things he liked and enjoyed, but he was still super disappointed. When he got home, I asked him how the trip was, and he told me how disappointed he was that the thing he was most looking forward to wasn't available. I felt sorry for him. That sucks. And it was a nice day. We live 3 blocks away from a 7-Eleven, so I offered to take him for a Slurpee, and he agreed. While it didn't make up for everything, it made his day a little better, and I was happy I could do that with such a simple little gesture. Well, my husband thinks I was wrong, because kids need to learn how to manage disappointment, and I didn't give him a chance. I would agree and say that if I had taken him to a Target and bought him $100 worth of toys, or say called the place and reamed them out for being disappointed. But it was just a Slurpee. It cost a little over $1 and it was close to home. It's not some big production. It is in no way proportional to the disappointment. It was just a small thing to uplift his day a little. My husband argues that the real world, you just have to suck it up when disappointed. But I said that's not entirely true. Adults in the real world absolutely treat themselves to minor things when they've had a rough day. It wouldn't be an excuse to run up the credit card, but it's not crazy or unusual to get oneself a Slurpee or a chocolate bar on a tough day. Anyways, just wondering who is right here. Am I the beehole? Did I handle the situation badly by getting my son a small treat because he was disappointed? Hi, OP, not the beehole. I would argue your son was handling it just fine. He was disappointed, but he didn't come home and cry and throw a tantrum. You asked him how it went, and he said, "Hey, I was bummed out. I didn't get to do this thing." And yeah, you're right. Adults treat themselves to treats when, they've had a rough day. I've done that, and I'll get myself a chocolate or a bag of chocolate pretzels and eat the whole chocolate pretzels and regret it. But, we all do that. Sometimes maybe it's a drink of some alcohol, a smoke, something, you know what I mean? And I would say getting him a Slurpee was a nice reward for him handling it pretty grown. He was handling it pretty well. And a $1 Slurpee isn't gonna, like you said, make him get all crazy and think, "Oh, I can keep getting Slurpees if I pout." That's not how that works. It sounds like your husband has some things to deal with himself. Maybe he's had a tough childhood or he was raised like that, but no, not the beehole. Like you said, even adults indulge in things when they've had a bad day. And our next one comes from Thick Act 1444. Am I the beehole for not pretending that a gift was from my ex-wife or reminding her it was the kid's birthday? I used to be married a few years ago. It was not a happy marriage, and we divorced. She needed to go back to work after the divorce, and her quality of life isn't where it was when we were married. Due to this, she hasn't handled the transition well, and I got primary custody. She sees them on weekends. It was my middle child's birthday yesterday. She got 0 calls from her mom, no present, and was dropped off, and she didn't go to the party. She was invited. She is 12 years old and noticed right away. She was not happy at all, and apparently she promised her that she would at least call. My daughter sent quite a mad message to her and is ignoring any messages from her mom at the moment. She gave me a call pissed. She called me a beehole for not reminding her at the minimum, and I could have pretended a gift was from her. I told her it's not my problem and it's not my fault she can't remember basic things. I don't know if I went too far. No, OP, no, you're not the beehole. She's the mother. She gave birth to the child. How does she not remember the child's birthday? And we have so many things to remind people about special days. Her phone has a calendar app and she can mark it on the calendar. She shouldn't have to because it's her child's birthday that she gave birth to. So no, OP, no, you're not the beehole. She's the one who effed up and you guys are divorced. You don't have to tell her anything or be on it like that with her. And our final one is from Opposite Analyst 1118. Am I the beehole for telling my cousin that she is no longer allowed to be a bridesmaid in my wedding because she wants to bring her boyfriend, who is my ex, and I don't want him there? My cousin is currently dating my ex, whom I ended things with amicably. Although I no longer have feelings for him, I don't want him at my wedding, a day that is incredibly important to me. I do not want him there to potentially overshadow the happiness of the occasion. Additionally, the relationship is still quite new, and I worry that if they break up, my cousin will be glad that he's not in any of the photos. When my cousin brought up the issue of bringing her boyfriend as a +1, I told her that she could not bring him. She became upset and tried to argue her case. Feeling frustrated, I finally told her that if she insists on having him there, I would rather she not be there at all. Now she's angry with me. I understand where my cousin is coming from, but I feel that she is not considering my feelings and the feelings of my own partner, whom I also have to consider when planning the wedding. Am I in the wrong for standing my ground on this issue? No, OP. No, you're not the beehole. It's your wedding. You can invite whoever you want. And if your ex did come, that'd be incredibly awkward. Even if you guys did end it on good terms, that's still awkward and weird to me. And yeah, that would suck. Your spouse would probably feel awkward too. Hey, my wife's ex is just here in the audience watching us get married. That is a weird thing to happen. I also think it's kind of weird and gross when family members date exes of other people. Personally, I just couldn't do that and wouldn't do that, so that kind of weirds me out too. And like, they barely just started dating, and you said I mean, you broke up for a reason, but I'm saying if they break up, yeah, it's gonna be annoying too to see him in the photos for both of you this time around. So, P, no, you're not the beehole. This is your wedding. You invite whoever you want to invite. Thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. And can you please do what I said in the beginning? And like, comment, and subscribe. It really and truly does help the channel out. It helps it grow, and it helps to get more videos like this. Velvet out.